Hey guys, it's good to be here with you today. I'm Ray. This is Chiari Life 420. Sorry. So we got Thanksgiving coming up, and although my wife and I don't really celebrate holidays, we do like to get together with my father-in-law and my son, a couple family members, and have a meal on Thanksgiving and also on Christmas. And it's more so for my father-in-law because he does celebrate it, but we don't put up a tree or anything like that. But anyway, so we got Thanksgiving coming up, and it's just, it's really made me ponder upon my life and all the different changes that have happened over the years with me and my family, and the fact that we've been through a ringer and pretty traumatic event, yet my wife, she stuck with me the whole time when I could no longer offer her stability and that basically that rock that she could count on. She never let me falter, she never backed off, she never thought twice. And I really, man, I thank God for my wife, I truly believe that she's my soulmate. It's an incredible story, really, how we got together. I mean, we went to school. She knew me from elementary school, but I didn't know her. Everybody knew me, man. I was a little pipsqueak, and they called me Bucky Jones. Well, that's what my mom called me, was Bucky, so it stuck, You can't get away from it in your hometown, But believe me, I tried. My wife to this day calls me Bucky. But I don't like hearing her call me nothing. Technicality, we call each other Mom and Daddy, but at any rate, that's neither here nor there. I just thank God for her, man. She's really been my rock. And when we met each other in September of 1994. October, I started hanging out with her at her house, like after work. I was working 2 to 10, 2 in the afternoon to 10 at night. Killer hour, right? Especially if you partied like I did back in the day. So I would just get off work, go to her house, smoke. She was like my smoking partner. Get smoked up with her, chill, talk till like 5 in the morning. Go to my boy's house. I was staying with him, actually. Went to his house, went to sleep. If I didn't fall asleep at her house on her couch or something, and then got up, took a shower, went to work, came home, same old routine every single day. That whole entire month of October, and then because we met like in the middle of September, and then November we moved in together. I don't know why my phone keeps going in and out. The light keeps fading in and out. I don't know what's going on with that. But I don't like it. So anyway, we move in with each area. So we move in with each other. And I mean, we are best friends, right? We're barely making it. Everything that I make is like, boom, put into rent and the big lights, and what little bit she could pull in. She was buying diapers for my son. He was 1 year old at the time. I had not yet adopted him at the time. And she would buy diapers and food. And what little bit left over, like I said, I would buy a quarter, sell it, dime it up, sell it, get 5 dimes out of it some kind of way. I'd smoke whatever's left, and I'd do that every single day, just so I can maintain. And it kept me maintained for the longest time. And then slowly life got better, you know. But we got engaged in November, so we went from strangers to engaged in 3 months time. I don't know what's going on with this, but anyway, so the whole point, that's a long story, is just to say how much I love my wife, you know, and how thankful I am for her. I'm thankful for my son. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful that I'm loved, you know. I am so blessed because I am broken, you know. I'm down to 105 pounds, soaking wet, right? And, you know, I'm broken, right? But, man, I am loved, and I love it, you know. And I'm happy. I'm content. And when I started this channel, I was looking for support, you know, because I was in a dark place. And I had my wife to talk to and everything, but, you know, I look at her and all the effort that she puts into taking care of the house, and I have to see her take the trash out and go to the dump, and, you know, all these extra things that normally I was generally the one that would take care of it. I see her going through that, and it just bothers me, you know. Makes me feel inadequate, less than. And she, you know, she's determined to make sure she instills in me that it ain't like that, you know. I fulfill her in other ways, but, you know, it's just hard for a man to accept, I guess, when you look at who he was and who he is now. I'm literally a different human being, you know. I used to tell my wife I felt like they took my brain and my spirit, everything, and like removed it from my body. Because before I went into surgery, I wasn't this bad off. I was about maybe half of this, right? But I was headed to paralyzation, you know. So I'd been worse than this. But, you know, it's just inevitable. But, I don't want to think about all that right now. I'm thankful for everything that I have, you know. The house is falling apart while I'm riding the ship till it sinks. And, we'll move on, you know. That's life. It's the way it goes. Can't take none with you. And I just want to be a better human being, really, than I was yesterday. I want to be a better human being today. And tomorrow I want to be a better human being tomorrow than I was today. A better man, a better husband, a better dad, the whole 9 yards. Definitely a better grower. Everything. But anyway, so today I just wanted to bring attention that November is Nerve Pain Disease Awareness Month. Nerve Pain Disease Awareness Month. And I'm a little late to the party announcing that to everybody, but just to you know, I wanted to make this channel that I keep kicking my camera shelf. I wanted to make this channel that also highlight my disease and bringing awareness to Chiari Malformations and Syringomyelia, which is a spinal cord disease. So for this video, I just kind of really want to focus on what it's like living day to day with Syringomyelia. Kind of like a rough overview of what the disease is and how it affects me in my daily life. They say about approximately 8 in every 100,000 people will be diagnosed with this disease in their lifetime. The odds of getting this disease is pretty low, but the odds of you finding a doctor that knows what they're doing in regards to this disease, that knows about the disease and how the treatment goes and can explain it to you as a patient and stuff, that's just as rare as getting the disease. Sometimes it's even harder. But Syringomyelia is diagnosed when, through an MRI image, the spinal cord when you get an MRI image of the spinal cord, and a fluid-filled sac of cerebral fluid called a syrinx is found. I wish I had a picture here. I don't have one. But I'll work on that and kind of touch base with this again in the future. But it's a fluid-filled sac of cerebral fluid that forms in your spinal cord, inside the cord itself. In my case, you can get it from car accidents, or like if you fell off a horse or what have you, motorcycle accident, whatever. It's any kind of trauma. You fall off a ladder, you break your back, you hurt your back, or whatever. You can actually form a syrinx from that injury. So syringomyelia can be, you can develop syringomyelia through what's called a Chiari malformation, which is a birth defect, which happened in my case. But again, you can get it through trauma as well. But if you picture your back, let me see if I can get a little bit of picture here. If you picture your back here, up here, this hooks to your brainstem, right there, up at the top here. And inside this, you can see it here. That's a better image of what the spinal cord looks like inside. So inside there, right there, my syrinx went from my brainstem all the way down. See, this is thoracic. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it went all. It's like half of my back, really. A syrinx is basically half of my back, and what happened basically was my skull didn't form properly. The brain cerebellum part of the brain, this part of the brain right here. See it? This part right here. It dropped down into my spinal canal, and as a result, cerebral fluid started being forced down into my spinal cord, kind of like, picture it like a straw, and you're like forcing toothpaste down that straw. Only, it started out small, and what happens is it kind of floats inside your spinal cord. It starts there. Mine started right at the brainstem, and it started going down, and it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger until it was all the way like almost half of the length of my back, from the top of my neck down to the middle of my back. And excuse me one second. Okay, so as the pocket of fluid, it's called a syrinx, as it changes in size and gets bigger, it can potentially lead to a full blockage of the spinal cord, and it can lead to paralysis. In my case, an entire one side of that straw, the spinal cord, one whole side was closed off, and I only had, just like they said, the width of a piece of paper could go through the syrinx and the spinal cord wall. So I was well on my way. I headed to a wheelchair. But no matter the exact size, damage to the nerve fibers in the spinal cord, it leads to permanent damage. Also, if expanded enough, the signals to the brain the signals the brain is sending to the rest of the body via the central nervous system. All that, basically in a nutshell, my body's short-circuiting because the central nervous system is disrupted. And as a result, there's no cure for that. There's no medication you can get. There's no surgery you can get in that regard. A person that can experience severe chronic pain, headaches, numbness, weakness, tingling in their arms and legs, cardiovascular issues, vision issues, bladder and bowel issues, body temperature regulation, extreme pain in your extremities, and in some severe cases, paralysis. Also, it causes secondary issues like fibromyalgia, arthritis, chronic fatigue syndrome, CRPD, excuse me. Surgery is the last resort when it regards to a syrinx. And whenever I say that, I mean, because it's so dangerous, you got to operate on the actual spinal cord itself. What they do basically is they connect a shunt from your spinal cord and they hook it into your stomach so that the fluid can drain into your stomach, and hopefully they also do another surgery called a posterior fossa decompression. It's a brain surgery where they go in and they bolt your head down and they open you up from basically the top of your head down here to the bottom of your neck. Top of your head, bottom of your neck, and they open you up and they shock your cerebellum back into place. They shave a little bit of your skull away to make sure there's plenty of room there. Nothing's being forced through there. And then they put a Dura patch over top of you, staple you up, and away you go. But in this case, and that should relieve the pressure. But after that, you get MRIs like every year, every 2 years, depending upon what they look like. Like for me, I used to get them every year, but there was no changes to the Syrinx, and they cost a lot of money. So I started getting them every 3 years, something like that. And I'm due for one right now. I just need to set the appointment up. But anyway, that's about the only surgeries they can do. But the damage that's been done to the nervous system, in that case, all the damage done to the nerve fibers inside your spinal cord, it's done. It's done with. There's no repairing. There's no coming back from that damage. And there's, doing the shunt deal, that's got about a 20% success rate, literally. Doing the fossa decompression, that's got an 80% success rate. But again, it doesn't relieve any symptoms. All it does is it relieves the pressure of the cerebral fluid being forced into the spinal cord, and this stops the Syrinx from getting larger and causing ongoing damage. What damage has been done is done, but it no longer continues to do further damage after you get this surgery. 80% success rate, and in my case, it was a success rate. But there's no guarantee that the process it's not going to be repeated down the road. Pause. Alright, I'm back with you. I keep having to light my cone. Running my gift, it keeps going out. I know it's giving me cotton mouth though. Smoking bubble gum. It's got a good, nice balance feel to it. Relaxing, nice relaxing in your head, mind, and your body. but it'll knock you out. You know, it doesn't make you really tired or sleepy or anything like that. Just relax. All right. So, anyways, for me, I had a few different symptoms. I went to the doctor actually for one reason, and I was fortunate that my PCP was a prior surgeon. So he had heard of this disease, knew what to listen for, or whenever I was talking about my symptoms that I was feeling, it like a light bulb went off in it, and he said, we need to get an MRI. But numbness in my right hand, pain in my shoulders, my brain, man, my head was getting like brain freezes. So I got an MRI. I was diagnosed in October of 2009, okay? I had my posterior fossa decompression that following January, so 3 months later, January 2010. And I was never able to go back to work. My family, me and my family, we went through hell. Since diagnosed, the amount of nerve damage and the way that damage is exposed is vast. So many things in so many ways, from pain to bladder issue. I have a neurogenic bladder, and as a result, about 85% of the time when I urinate, I have to use a self catheter. I think I don't have to walk around with a Foley's and a bag, you know what I mean? But I still have to go in the bathroom and use a catheter to relieve my urine to ensure that I void all the urine out of my bladder. I've already got kidney issues. I went into renal failure twice because my bladder backed up. I didn't think about it. It doesn't come to mind. I don't feel like I have to pee, so I didn't think about it. And I ended up not peeing for 2 days, and I mean, I got delirious, man. I started, you know, I was being poisoned, and so I had to go to the ER, and they put me in the hospital and drained me out like 2 bags, urine bags, dark as I don't know what. But anyway, so bladder issues, bowel issues, man. I stay plugged up. I'm not lying. I have hypogonadism, so I have to take testosterone injections now. None of these things were an issue before I had my surgery, but they would have become an issue anyways. Hypersensitivity, so like in the cold, and when I say cold, I mean 75, 76 degrees, I'm comfortable. It gets down to like 74, 73. I'm in pain, man. My pain gets elevated. Any fan blowing on me. This shirt, wearing a shirt, I'm hypersensitive to it. It's an instant pain, like a burning, but breaking type pain at the same time. As more time passes, circumstances continue to progress in the severity of the pain and other areas. Every few years, it seems I do get MRIs to ensure that the Syrinx isn't growing again. I will say, for those of you who have recently been diagnosed with Syringomyelia, try not to get overwhelmed. It's very easy to get freaked out when the doctor starts talking about brain surgery, and you know, you got this cyst type thing in your spinal cord, and especially if you're going to if your PCP found it, or you're going to a neurologist that's not very familiar with the disease. I mean, literally, my neurologist that actually, my PCP found it on the MRI. He ordered MRI, found it. Excuse me. He forwarded it to a neurologist, who basically, when I went to go see him, he pulled it up on the internet and hit print, and it was like 7-8 pages on what Syringomyelia is. He gave it to me. Now he set me up to see a neurosurgeon, and that was it, man. I never saw this guy again. It was crazy. But look, don't get overwhelmed and try to do some investigation on your own. But don't jump to conclusions, you know. Just because it's affecting one person in a severe way doesn't mean it's as severe in another case. There's some people that are in wheelchairs as a result of this. Personally, I ambulate with knee braces and a cane, you know, because I do get dizzy and I get weak and shaky, and you know I'll lose my balance. But just remember to take things one day at a time and only as they come. You know, sincerely. There's no sense in worrying about conditions that you're not experiencing presently. It only adds to the stress, and you're really going to experience enough having to go through this entire process. For those of you living with the disease, don't give up. I know how isolating and lonely a life can be. I mean, how isolating and lonely a life of pain can be, and other conditions. But try your best to maintain some kind of support system. Be it, look, even if you don't have one through your family and friends, like for me in my case, you know, the worst thing about living with Syringomyelia and this kind of chronic pain and these conditions is that people see the little handicap sign on your license plate and look at you when you get out, and it's like they're dissecting you, you know, and man, ain't nothing wrong with him, man. People can't see my disease, and therefore they misjudge me and they misjudge my disease. You know, people come up, put their hand on me, grab a hold of my shoulder just to give me, you know, it could be a term of endearment. Hey, how you doing? You know, oh my goodness, everybody that's like my grandson, my wife, my son, my pops, he forgets things. But everybody close to me knows not to full on hug me. You know what I mean? I do love to give hugs, but I usually grab a hold of their right arm so they can't reach around and grab, and then I'll grab like that and they'll give me a half hug on half of my back. And that's how I share love, man, because it hurts. But even if you can't talk to your family about it, you know, you don't feel like they understand, you can't like find the words to express how you feel to them or your significant other, you know, because you got to work through this process. It's scary. You know, there are a lot of people online, man, and I'm gonna tell you what, I started communicating with people. I started this channel on YouTube because I didn't find anybody that lived with Syringomyelia that was talking about their daily life and what it was like living with it. What their experience was like when they discovered they had a Chiari, how shocking it was, what it meant for work. You know, because some people just have a Chiari, they don't have a Syrinx. They haven't developed Syringomyelia yet. And they can just get the posterior fossa decompression, and boom, they're more healthy than they were when they initially were, because they've had this Chiari all their life, you know. But in my case, I had already developed the disease of Syringomyelia and became half crippled, you know. And after my surgery, it became more so, because all that pressure, as long as that pressure was being forced out, like against that wall, it's like the nerves were like crushed, but the damage hadn't been exposed yet. But I'm gonna tell you, once I had that because my right arm was weak, everything was weak on my right hand, and it didn't really hurt. It just super freaking heavy, man. And like I was shooting darts and they would float. Like I wasn't consistent anymore. and it was like throwing me off, so. But I was up and down heavy equipment, and I was having a lot of backaches and headaches and like brain freezes for like 5 minutes. It was crazy. But anyway, I found I started this channel to try to reach out for support and to give support. And also to express what cannabis has done for me in treating my Syringomyelia and the different side effects that it expresses itself through me, the nerve damage. Um, Man, cannabis helps in so many different ways. It blows my mind. But man, I've met so many people through Twitter. Well, previously Twitter is X now. Um, and such wonderful people, man. Such a wonderful community. And the majority of these people are struggling just like me. They live in chronic pain, and maybe they're suffering. I did meet a couple people that have a Chiari or rare spinal cord diseases. A few people that are suffering with cancer, dealing with appetite suppressant like me. Like I went from 135 pounds down to 125 pounds. Now I'm down to 105 pounds. And I'm trying to get my teeth fixed now. My sister in Kansas is going to pay for it. All I got to do is just get up there, you know what I mean? But it's been so busy this month. I haven't been able to get up there, but hopefully things will smooth out a little bit and I'll get it started next month. But for sure, next year, I'm coming up with some some new dentures, man, and I'm so excited for that. But anyway, I've met so many people through X, and some through Instagram, but more through X, and it's really been a blessing. For me personally, living with Syringomyelia, the hardest thing for me is feeling productive, I went through a bad depression for like 2 years because I couldn't do anything. Even washing dishes, man. My left hand feels like it's stuck in the ice bucket, freezing cold, and I can't pull it out. I cannot pull it out the bucket, Imagine that. Imagine keeping your hand in an ice bucket. For real. Imagine keeping your hand in an ice bucket. Full, those ice baths and MMA fighters be having, where they break their hand and stick their hand in a fistful of ice. Yeah. Open your hand in that a couple times and leave it in there. And man, that shit burns and it hurts and it aches. And that's what my hand feels like. And a lot of times, especially this winter or whenever I got to bring temperatures down for my flower, it's right now I'm running it around, 78 to 80 degrees. But it's going to be coming down to like 75 by the time I'm in late flower, maybe even 73, So, it just depends. But I'll be wearing a glove because my hand hurts so bad. I can't do dishes as a result. My hand's stuck in waters like that. And I can't stand for too long because my back gets to killing me, man. And I just sound like a crybaby. And I don't like speaking like that. I like speaking positivity. I'm just trying to express to you what it's like for me living with Syringomyelia. I just feel like I'm not... Look, me and my wife been together for 28 years, man. 28 years. Praise God, like, in February 6th, you're going to slap me in my face. February 6th, we're celebrating 29 years of being together. No, that's this month, the 22nd. November 22nd, 29 years together. That's insane. And in February, it'd be married for 28 years. Man, But anyway, I just feel like I'm not holding my end of the bargain out. But anyway, it's better in the summer though, because I am able to do some menial tasks. Like maybe I can, if the garbage we don't let it get but so full, we got a smaller garbage can so that I can take the trash out. I can't lift no more about 5 pounds. And this arm, I don't have full rotation in anymore. And I'm super weak in this hand, in this arm. But anyway, In the summer, it's easier to wear shirts. I have to keep it really warm in here and have it presented warm and be warm, and then I can get a warm shirt on and I'm comfortable long enough. If I'm peaking on my medicine, I'm good so long as that. But I'll be having to come up out of here in a minute. Anyway, in the cold and winter, man, I'm really restricted. Really restricted. I say the biggest two things affecting me on a daily basis would be living in pain and the fact that my body temperature doesn't regulate itself. That's why another reason why I use cannabis. Because, excuse me, my hand, I'll get so clammy, man, and I have the humidity down in like 30s. Through the house, I'll run my dehumidifier and keep it down in the 30s, you know. But my hand gets so clammy, it's almost like bath hands, like I've been swimming in the water hands, you know. It's so gross, and you'll see me holding paper towels a lot like this. Just like that, I'll grip it just like that to where it gets in between my fingers and stuff. And I'll take wipes and wipe it out and grip that and stuff. But when I smoke, because my central nervous system, I talked to my neurologist about it, my central nervous system is damaged, you know. So part of that system that regulates my body temperature that indicates when to sweat and when not to and where to, it's all jacked up. And you know, as long as it's not jacked up but you're having a problem with that, they can actually do a surgery and clip that nerve or whatever that causes your hand to sweat. But in my case, because I've got so much damage already to my nerves, they can't do that. And there's not like there's a pill you can take, you know, there's no medication that handles that. My wife is looking into some Carpe, so she's going to try to get some Carpe. We're going to try that. But I'm telling you what, cannabis, forget it, man. It's amazing because I can take like 5-6 hits and it's done. Put it out, you know. That's like half a cone. 4, 5, 6 hits. If I'm in the daytime, you know, and I'm trying to get something done and like write or, you know, look at my plants and water my plants or whatever like that, record a video, you know, what have you. There ain't much else I do. You know, it keeps me level so I can actually do some little stuff. But so I'm almost always clammy, especially my hands, unless I've got some smoke. I'm trying to see what else I haven't covered. As far as the pain goes, cannabis works in a different way. And I've said this before in treating chronic pain with cannabis in one of my videos, and you can go back and check that out. It's not like it's a opiate. I mean, what's funny is it binds with your endocannabinoid system, binds with your opiate receptors, binds with your CB1 and your CB2 receptors. So, and not only does the certain cannabinoids affect your CB1s, but you have other cannabinoids affecting your CB2s. You have terpenes affecting it, analgesic effects. I mean, there are so much, and now that it's been reduced from what, Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, I think. However that scheduling works, to where now colleges and different institutions can start doing studies on it, you know. I mean, I shudder to think what that can lead to. But either way, they can start finding what each of these compounds, how to use them in treating certain diseases, man. I think it's amazing. And it shows some promising effects for cancer, man. For fighting cancer. I mean, they've already seen it kill cancer cells in petri dishes. They've already seen it. So that can't be argued with, you know. It's just how they get that same effect in the body. And, you know, everybody, not everybody, but RSO, Rick Simpson oil, he was able to create an oil. I mean, he had skin cancer, melanoma. And some people, oh man, that was skin cancer, shit. People die from skin cancer, man. That shit ain't no joke either. You know, for real. He came up with that. It's called RSO, and he rubbed it on his body over his cancerous areas on his skin, and it cleared it up, man. It killed the cancer cells on his melanoma. And as far as pain relief goes, I have personally, and I've tried different milligrams of edibles, I haven't found anything that relieves my pain and relaxes me as much as RSO. And I can't wait till payday because I'm going to go get some more, but it's astronomical in price. It's ridiculous. I'll show you when I get it. It's such a little bitty vial, and it's like $70, man. It's crazy. Okay. But, look, all I know is it works, and I'm going to continue to use it as part of my treatment, especially since I have the support of my doctors. And my appetite, man, I think I would starve if I didn't smoke, because I have no appetite. I never have an appetite. And I get nauseous if I try to eat, you know, and so I smoke and I'm able to eat more. But, alright, the pain, it just makes it difficult for me to do meaningful tasks. Even growing my plant is much more difficult than I thought it would be. Making these videos is much more difficult than I thought it would be. My body crashes on me, man. It just crashes. Another damage to my nervous system is my internal clock, you know. Everybody has an internal clock. When I work shift work, you could still tell that the internal clock was working. Something about when the sun goes down, you can hang for a while, but your body says it's time to go to sleep. You know, it's time to shut down. And your clock shuts down. Your body starts to shut down. Different parts start to go to sleep. And that's how you're able to shut down at night. And in the morning time, that clock, boom, it wakes up. And even if you're half-ass groggy in the morning, you know, when it's still, if you get up and it's still kind of dark out, you know, and I don't care if I'd worked 13 hours, went in that afternoon, got off the next late morning. As soon as that sun came up, boom, I'm wide awake again. There's something about that internal clock needs to wake me up. But now, I can't sleep more than, man, I'm going to tell you what, I have to smoke something hard, like Skittles or like, some kind of berries, man. I forget what it is I got now. But, dang, I hate that. But I have to take some heavy indica, and I'll be able to go out for about an hour and a half. Something like, at the most 2 hours. But then, boom, I'm up. So I take trazodone, but I have to take it by midnight. If I don't take it at midnight, and see, it's hard for me. I don't get tired. I don't get sleepy, so... Or when I do, I can't go to sleep. My clock keeps me up. And so I have to take trazodone. But sometimes what happens is I fall asleep from the indica before I take my trazodone, and I wake up and it's like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I end up having to do another dab hit or something like that because I can't take my trazodone then because I'll sleep till like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's crazy. But growing plant, it does make it a little more difficult than I thought it would be. So I'm trying to make it as easy as possible when it comes to that or any menial task, you know. I try to make everything as minimal as can be and at my comfort level. Other issues that I go through include eye sensitivity. My saliva gland is damaged in my mouth on the left side. Um, I sweat out of the left side of my head when I eat, and I don't care what I'm eating. I sweat. It's always out of the left side of my head. Um, what else? I get headaches a lot. I get a lot of headaches. I get the left side of my neck, my left shoulder, my left arm, and my left chest, hand, torso, my knees, and it's different pains in different areas. Up here, everything feels super tight, like a tight spasm. Here, right in this pocket right here, right where your shoulder joint kind of goes into your arm there, it feels like there's a freaking knife stabbing me right there. And every time my shoulder moves, it feels like it wiggles around. This part right here, right above my tricep, right? It feels like the bone's being in an arm bar, like trying to get broken right there. My forearm's generally numb and my hand feels like it's in ice. I get burned all the time because I don't feel anything. I call it my alarm clock, so I get to run to my gift. I'm smoking a joint or a cigarette, unfortunately. That thing will burn down to my fingers. I don't realize it, and it's like, ow, you know, that's my alarm clock. You know, and then I wrench my damn shoulder when I react like that. But, so I have hypogonadism, a neurogenic bladder. I talked about Catherine. I have kidney issues. I have bowel issues. My showers I have to keep to a minimum, you know. Literally, probably the most I take is like twice a week, you know. Fortunately, I don't do anything, but you can't just sit around. No, I'm not talking about I change my drawers daily, my socks daily, stuff like that. But you can't just sit around. Just because you sit around and you don't exert no effort doesn't mean you ain't dirty, you know. I have bath wipes, so I'll wipe down on the off days. Oh man, them shower, man, it just pelts you, you know, and it kills you, and then I can't sit in water. It engulfs you, and it literally scares me to death to feel that. It scares me to death. I have to take testosterone injection. It's difficult to wear shirts. I ambulate with a cane. I have to utilize knee braces that have been poured and formed to my knees. Like I said, I sell calf. I have a sleep disorder. I'm a true insomniac. And I do struggle with depression, man, because it's an isolated life. But I really, truly feel like I have found a good support. And even though it's online, there is no live support. And I can always go, like, on Discord or live, you know, or join a cast, a live stream or whatever that's happening on Twitter, talk like that. I mean, there's all kinds of avenues, man, of support out there. And I just want you to know, you can email me at chiarilife420@yahoo.com at any time and correspond that way. You can reach me here on YouTube. I am Ray Jones on Twitter. On Instagram, I am ChiariLife420, all lowercase. That's about all ways you can get in touch with me. But for treatment with Syringomyelia, treatment varies from anti-seizure medication, gabapentin, to regulate. For me, my treatment starts with anti-seizure medication, gabapentin, and that's to treat my regulate my nerve stimulation. Because, like I said, my central nervous system is disruptive. I have hypersensitivity, and this kind of relaxes the nerves a little bit. I take muscle relaxants. I take baclofen for all the muscle spasms I get through, because I'm always tensed up because my nerves are always spasming and stuff. I do take opiates, MS Contin, immediate release, and MS Contin extended release. I do take Celexa for depression, but I maintain at that. And of course, I am a true advocate of cannabis. It has helped me in my depression. It has helped me in my pain. It has helped me in my spirit. Cannabis has helped me in so many ways, and I'm just really thankful, man. Again, back to the Thanksgiving thing. I'm just truly thankful for all that I have, that I live in a state that allows us to medically use cannabis now, to be able to grow at home. Even though I can grow 4 plants right now, I can only grow 2 because that's how big my tent is. But you know, I thank God for all that I have, cannabis included. But speaking to those of you who have friends and loved ones living with Syringomyelia, be patient, be kind, and understanding. And in most circumstances, the average person living with Syringomyelia doesn't have the pleasure of knowing how they'll feel one day to the next. You really don't. You may feel great, pain level at a 3 or a 4. That's a good day for me. That's a freaking outstanding day for me if my pain was a 3. Shit. But maybe one day the pain's a 3 and their average pain is a 5, you know, or a 6. And they're just having an outstanding day. You know, for some reason we revert back to how we felt pre-disease. And at least in my case, I get to, and it's been like 13 freaking years, almost going on 14 years since I've had this disease, you know. For some reason, I still revert to remember how I felt. Hopefully, you know, like, hey, I feel good today. I had no reason to think I wasn't going to feel good tomorrow. I forget that shit, you know. And next thing you know, I wake up and I feel like I got hit by a bus. You know, and you get depressed with that stuff, you know. I need to watch my mouth. Anyway, just try to be patient with these people, you know, because they don't know how they're going to feel. And some days they don't feel like talk. Some days you literally don't have the energy to have a conversation. Like within you, you feel like it's going to take your very breath away. All the energy you can muster, man, to just have a conversation. You know, I live in my bedroom. Heat, certain degrees, and I have now a grow room, lung room that I can maintain at even keel temperature. That's not too hot for my girls, my plants, and it's just right for me, that Goldilocks zone. And you know, but look, they might not feel like talking. They might not feel like reaching out. They might not know what to say. You know, how do you go about explaining all these weird things? You know, a lot of doctors, before Syringomyelia really became and I don't even want to call it popularized, but before, the pre-internet, not many doctors knew about this disease. It's something that's studied for like a paragraph, and maybe they cover it for a day in medical school, and then it's pow, 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 banging all this other stuff, and then whatever your specialty is, or general medicine. But a general practitioner, the average doctor, a primary care doctor, or, yeah, PCP, this is not something they're going to generally run into, And, look, don't be offended when they're not very responsive, You would not believe the pain that it is. And it develops into another disease called CRPD, chronic I can't remember what it used to be. RSD, reflux sympathetic dystrophy. And basically it's where you have so much damage in one area of your body that, like how all my damage is in my spinal cord, but that damage expresses itself through my shoulder, my arm, my hand, my chest, my side, stomach, ribs, back, all that crap. It expresses itself through there that has no damage at all, So like I brought up, man, doc, can I cut my arm off? Just remove this whole freaking arm and shoulder, so I'm not experiencing this pain. And I ain't got to live on these drugs the rest of my life that who knows what it's doing to me. Gabapentin I'm talking about. Opiates too, long term, but so far so good. Let's just say that. But man, gabapentin, it's not good for you. And over time, these medications lose their effectiveness. I started out taking 100 milligrams of gabapentin 3 times a day, and now I'm taking 4,800 milligrams per day. It's like 1,800 in the morning, 1,800 in the afternoon, and 1,200 at night. It's insane. But look, please don't be offended when they're not very responsive, or they don't call too often, they don't reach out. Look, trust me, they want your love and admiration. They're just simply unable to reach out at that time. Please don't hold it against them, because they're not trying to hurt you. No one asked for this miserable disease. We didn't ask to be sick every day, We don't mean to cancel plans at the last minute. Or we were really hoping that we could enjoy that show. You know how many times Social Distortion is my favorite band on the planet, okay? This band takes me back to my like 14, 15-year-old days, when I was this little snotty punk rock, skateboarding, pot smoking, cigarette smoking kid, that was just crazy, wild in the streets, But twice I've seen him. Once with this guy that was good friends with me. He offered to pay my way twice, 2 more times, and I couldn't make plans with him, man. My favorite band, but see, if I make plans and he buys my ticket, and then I have to cancel on him, man, I would hate that, So we're just not able to make plans. But trust me, we're doing the very best we can. So I just want to say, keep your head up, guys. You people that live in chronic pain, and I apologize for this long-winded video, and I hope you can hang. But I wanted to let people know what it's like living with this disease. Just a glimpse into what it's like, And if you're not progressed this far, count your blessings. And I count mine, you know. Remember to be kind. Speak positivity as best you can. Throw them complaints off your, out the way, you know what I mean? Like Jay-Z said, just brush that shit off your shoulder, you know? Just brush it off your shoulder. Brush the dirt off your shoulder. That's it. Anyway, people. Chiari Life 420. Much love coming to you. I'm out.